Well, I guess I'm live. Good morning, everyone, from a beautiful winter day here in Melbourne, Australia. I am so thankful for Instagram filters because it's giving me this rosy cheek glow that is definitely fake. I am all pale and I just woke up, so good morning. I have Kat Lee today from Empowered Curiosity join me on this Instagram live so that we can talk about the energetics of money in general and the energetics of money workshop that we are collaborating on in a few weeks. So here we go. Alrighty, Kat is ready to join. Yep, go live. Yep. Okay, I don't know if this worked. It is. Hi. Hello, Kat.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going really well. How about yourself?
Whatever is happening behind you is the opposite of what's happening here. No birds chirping. I don't know even if it's day or night. It's so dark. It's raining. We're freezing. So we're good.
Yeah, you're in the winter of Australia and I'm in the summer of Nevada, which is so hot here.
Oh, it's so cold here. Like I had to turn the heater off because otherwise it will sound really loud in the Instagram live recording. So here we are. And I'm so happy that we were able to find a time, regardless of the time zone difference, to jump on here live and talk about the energetics of money in general and the workshop that you have so beautifully put together. And I guess, just tell people who you are and the normal things.
Good. Yeah, I am so excited that we get to co-teach this workshop. I am a spiritual business mentor, and you can find me over at Empowered Curiosity. And what I found through coaching so many folks who are trying to either begin or continue or transition in their spiritual businesses is there's like this elephant in the room around money. Folks have so many woundings around money, and it comes out in really sort of unconscious ways. And so I'm not really good at just like circling around the elephant. I really want to like dive in and get to know the elephant and become their friend. And so that's why I thought I would start a workshop about the energetics of money. The how to set up your business is actually pretty simple. Like you go through the logical steps of, setting up a bank account and setting up accounting. But what I find is that people get really blocked when it comes to the energetics that come before that. And so if you are somebody who procrastinates, if you have guilt or shame around money, if you have some struggles around, maybe some guilt around participating in what you consider to be a capitalist system, then this workshop is going to be really perfect for you, because we're going to learn how to regulate your nervous system around money. And then we give you the tools to really set your business up. Yeah. So that's kind of my little jam around the energetics of money and why it's so important.
It is so important because, so this workshop is geared towards people who identify as spiritual entrepreneurs. And what it is really is that my understanding of a spiritual entrepreneur is someone who is a business owner, and whether they work for themselves full-time or a side gig, but they are led by their soul. Whatever they are offering out into the world is 100% led by their spirit, by their soul. And it is really like money is a byproduct of their work, but it also is the way that they, it is a vehicle that they can expand as a business owner, whether to get more training, whether to expand their receptacle for receiving more, or to give more as well. So yes, it's not just about we are not talking about money as the end all and be all. Like we're not selling hey, join this workshop and you learn how to like make six-figure income, or none of that, those like formulaic, you know what I mean. These
Formulaic.
formulaic templates that you see out there. It's more of, yes, we understand where you're coming from, we understand that money is a byproduct of the beauty that you want to put out there in the world, of how you want to change the world. However, like you said it so eloquently, it is the elephant in the room that you need to befriend. Because from my perspective, as from my money coaching perspective and program, it's money is a portal and a gateway towards further healing, even on a personal level, not just from a business perspective, because it touches,
Absolutely.
not just touches your business, it touches your relationship to every other thing in your life, because
Yeah.
money is, after all, a resource, right? So
Exactly.
yeah.
And that's oftentimes what I find when we're having conversations, is as we start talking about money and we start thinking about the feelings and emotions that come up around money, it becomes, it goes back to a story to childhood, because
Mhm.
oftentimes what we think about in terms of money is it's actually a resource. And so if we take that energetics of resources and how scarcity and abundance was perceived in your family, how it was interacted with, then we start being able to unravel, oh, actually, it's not really about money.
Mhm.
It's about what money represents to you and what it represented to you specifically as a small child or as somebody growing up in your very specific family.
Mhm.
Um, and so these things where it's like, I don't know why I'm procrastinating, or I don't know why it's so hard for me to, start making some moves in my business. Instead of going at it from a logical perspective of like, I just need to do steps A through Z, it's like, can we slow it down? Can we put a slightly different, more compassionate perspective on it,
Mhm.
instead of thinking there must be something wrong with me because I can't do these things.
Yeah.
So that's sort of my invitation. And I love that you've already put so much work into being a money coach, being a life purpose coach, because they go hand in hand. And one of the big things that I want to really make sure that we touch on is money is not inherently dirty. Money is not inherently toxic.
Mhm.
Money is not inherently a lot of these things that we place a judgment value on.
Yeah.
And so, but we still want to be able to make sure that how we spend and how we bring in money is in alignment with your values, is in alignment with your purpose. And ultimately, when you do that, then you become a conduit to be able to interact with money in a way that is not icky, not, toxic and capitalist in its inherent structure.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that we'll be talking about in the workshop is really diving into what's the difference between capitalism and commerce, and how can we move and shift our spiritual businesses, because I'd love to create this wave of spiritual entrepreneurs who are focusing more on commerce instead of capitalism. And it's really important to understand that that's not inherently what money is about.
Yes, because at the end of like the other point of where we want to be, like the desired outcome of where we want to be in terms of money as spiritual entrepreneurs, what does that look like? It looks like elevation. We elevate the people
Mm-hmm.
that are around us. We don't just, because of the nature of how we operate in our lives, in
Mm-hmm.
our businesses, naturally, when we get that abundance of money, it's going to look different to how perhaps another person might look like. Because from my perspective, money just amplifies what's already inside of you, right?
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
your idea to start a business, to create everything that you're creating to help people with more money, how much more are you going to help people? How much more are you going to
Mm-hmm.
elevate the people and the communities that are around you? Because
Yeah.
when we talk about life purpose, it's not just like, oh, people have this grand idea that they're going to change the entire world. But what I want to draw attention to is that it's not just the entire world. It starts with your immediate community. It starts with
Yeah.
the people that are around you, because that will have that ripple effect. So
Yeah.
it is very important to understand how important it is, especially as a light worker, especially as a healer, especially as a spiritual entrepreneur, to create that ease, that healthy relationship with money because of its ripple effect into the world.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. And I remember feeling frozen about money for a very, very long time, feeling like, I couldn't bring enough money in. And even when I was bringing in enough money, I didn't know how to manage it very well.
Yeah.
And so that is not actually like another how-to tool is going to feel really overwhelming to your nervous system. What we need to do is go back and understand where those patterns come from so that you are really integrating them and alchemizing them from the source.
Yeah.
And I know that specifically around capitalism, this idea of capitalism, I felt so frozen about it. And I found that the most empowering thing is to actually invite more money into my business, because when I'm doing that, then I'm making decisions about how I want to spend that money, which means that I am extending my values out into, you know, sustainable clothing companies and how I eat and being able to support regenerative farming practices. And so this goes beyond just your bubble and your sphere
Yes.
of your business. And so we need to be, I don't know, like I would so much rather be inspiring spiritual entrepreneurs to really take ownership over their businesses and over the money that their businesses are bringing in, because I trust us to make better decisions for our planet and for our communities than I put the trust in of bigger corporations.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, in my lingo, I use money archetypes in the language that I use in my program. That's the creator artist archetype, where it kind of feels dirty to kind of delve into money. However, the other side of that, like the light side of that, is how can you vote with your wallet, like you were mentioning? How can you heal that so that your energy and is amplified, so you can again elevate the people that are like-minded around you? So
Absolutely.
that is the
Absolutely.
power of understanding and healing. Another thing I wanted to point out is that, yes, perhaps you are, I mean, there's a very big chance that a spiritual entrepreneur is a coach or a healer or a therapist, even. And just from my perspective, like I full time help people with their money wounds. I take people on money healing journeys. However, sometimes when you are so close to your own story, you are unable to unravel certain things. And I am Kat's client, and she helps me with my money wounds, because as good as I am as a coach, I can't do it for myself. So
We
my
all need mirrors.
invitation, yeah, we all need these mirrors in these containers where we feel safe. And even if you're a coach listening to this, even if you're a therapist, a healer, whatever, um, for you to come and join this workshop or to seek help, whether it's from us or from any other source, it doesn't make you a bad healer or like a bad coach. It just means that you care and you want to take it a step further, because that safe container goes a very long way.
Yeah. I would even take it a step further and say that it is all of our responsibilities as humans who are doing spiritual work, is the most important part is to be doing your own work, so that you aren't projecting your own woundings onto your clients. You're not projecting your own insecure relationships onto your business. And so it keeps you in integrity to be working with communities that support you, working with a mentor or a coach who can be a objective mirror. I will never stop doing coaching and therapy and investing in my own self-improvement, because I know that it only makes myself a better practitioner and business owner. Um, and and I think that, yeah, that's a really important thing that you just pointed out.
You know, you can only take your clients as further or as farther away as you've gone. You can't take people on a journey that you haven't gone.
Yeah,
So that will
absolutely.
really increase your capacity. But also, you know, you stole the word out of my mouth, that word integrity. Like, pricing your services from integrity versus pricing your services from wounding, because you might be undercharging or you might be overcharging because your wounds look different.
Yeah.
So it depends on what you internalize as a child. So when we talk about money wounds and money healing, we do not refer to just to people who have had like traumatizing childhood memories or childhood situations when it comes to resources and money. We are talking about mundane situations that we internalize as children, that we are conditioned, like this is our conditioning, this is what we're taking with us on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
situations that, for example, that involve toys or involve sharing, that you, from the perspective of a 6 or 7 year old you might have made that mean something completely different, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that it just is an invitation that if you don't have to have had a traumatizing dramatic events or childhood.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
normal things might be the source of your wounding, the source of like quote unquote blockage. Because I don't
Yeah.
like the words limiting beliefs or limiting whatever. I don't use that
Yeah.
crap. Because there's always a wisdom and a reason behind all our sabotaging patterns that we need to shift and
Absolutely.
heal. Yeah.
Absolutely. And, like one of my biggest wounds around money was watching my dad work so hard. My parents were immigrants to the United States, and he worked so hard, and he was able to provide this really, really beautiful life for me and my brother, and create financial stability for us. But the flip side of that is we never saw our father, and so he worked 50, 60 hours a week. And so what I internalized, even though that wasn't a traumatic experience in the sense of like big T trauma, what I internalized is in order for me to make money, I have to sacrifice something
Yeah.
that is important to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had a lot of resistance to actually making money because of this subconscious belief that I had to reframe and understand that actually that's not true, that money doesn't have to come from a place of sacrifice, that it can come from a place of ease,
Yeah.
and that money can be a way that my life no longer revolves around my business and it becomes the other way around. My business gets to feed into my life. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I think that it's also important to note that during the workshop, Nadine and I are talking about all the yin qualities of what we're going to share.
Mm-hmm.
And by yin, I mean it's like more of the energetics. It's more about what are the intentions, more of the like woo and nervous system and spirituality of it. But I've also asked Beth Gumry, who is one of the lovely, lovely women from Kenza Collective, who has decades of experience as an accountant. I've asked her on to actually share the yang of money, the yang of the energetics of money, which is really about setting up a structure for your business so that you have a good framework and you have a step-by-step plan. After Nadine and I get a chance to work with you, hopefully you're able to move through some of your money wounds, and then
Mm-hmm.
that way you're able to receive the how-to tools so
Yeah.
much more easily, and you aren't going to have the same blocks that you might have come into the workshop with.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I want to name here.
Yeah, because it is a combination, right? It is a combination between the practical and the spiritual, which you call yin and yang, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
can't just have the spiritual side of money and not the practical side, but we can't have just the practical side without the spiritual. Because,
Exactly.
I mean, one thing that people come to me with is that my brain knows what to do, but why am I not doing the thing that my brain knows
Yes.
to do,
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
So that is why the emotional, spiritual healing part of the money story is very, very important, because
Mm-hmm.
otherwise we can just send out textbooks. Really, we can just send out these textbooks or record a program and say, hey, do it. because
Yeah.
there are programs out there, there are
Yeah.
podcasts, textbooks, whatever out there, but
Yeah.
why isn't everybody implementing? It's
Yeah.
because there's the healing, the spiritual side that needs to be in balance with the practical side. So that's another reason
100%.
why this workshop is going to be epic, because it really is the balance of two. It's not one-sided or lopsided towards
Yeah.
one, favoring one or the other.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
can people expect when they join the workshop? So when is it and all of that?
Yeah, so let's talk about some of the details, and then I also want to address some of the questions I've been getting through
Perfect.
emails, and that way we can sort of, get all these little ducks in order here. So it is the weekend of June 25th and 26th. They're full day workshops. So it's 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, Pacific Standard Time, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Sunday, and like I had shared, Nadine and I are gonna just start the weekend going into the energetics of money, and that will be able to prime you so that you're able to receive some of the tools that Beth is going to share with us. And really, when I was thinking about this workshop, I was thinking of two different kinds of audiences. Everyone's a spiritual entrepreneur in this space, but I thought about myself 15 years ago when I
Mm-hmm.
first started my business and being completely lost, not understanding what kind of structures I needed to put in place, what exactly did I need to do, not really even understanding that I had these energetic blocks around money. So that's the first kind of spiritual entrepreneur, is like if you're at the very beginning of your journey and you just need a little bit of guidance to help support you in that process. And perhaps some fears are coming up around either receiving money, um, finding your value within your work, and not knowing how much to charge. And those kinds of things start to come up in the very beginning. And then I actually thought about myself um, maybe like a year or two ago as I was starting to make a abundance of money in my business.
Mm-hmm.
And even in that abundance, I felt a lot of dysregulation in my nervous system. And so having the support of like really understanding where these blocks are coming from, where these wounds are coming from, so that, as you start reaching these plateaus in your business, you're gonna start getting, slammed with these lessons, and you might have tried to learn them in one iteration or another at some point in your life, and now they're coming back.
Yes.
So it's for folks who are just starting out, or folks who are in a spiritual business already and are at a plateau and are just, in your body, in your senses that the next level is right there on the horizon. You just can't seem to grasp it.
Yeah, it's just like there, but you can't really. But the thing
Yeah.
is it's we're going to teach you tools, not just that you can help yourself or be helped with the current plateau or the current situation that you're in. These tools are renewable. You can use them and apply them throughout the
Absolutely.
duration of your life as a human
Absolutely.
being and as a
Yeah.
business owner, because these blocks, these money blocks, are going to come at every up level that your soul desires you to do. So every time you
Yeah.
want to do something new, launch something new, attain a different income level, that
Yeah.
is your soul pretty much telling you, hey, there is like this
We've got some work
wounding,
to do
like
here.
more
Yeah.
work, more work. So
Yeah.
not to scare anyone off, but it is, the spiritual entrepreneurial journey is a healing journey in of
Yeah.
itself. So these are the
Absolutely.
tools that you will be provided. So yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm so excited about this workshop. I think it's going to
Yeah.
be, I think it's a revolution, to be honest. It is going to change a lot of lives. It is going to change a lot of perspectives. And even if you come out of it with like a 2% mind shift, that's going to be like massive. It will have a massive ripple effect on your life and your business and your relationships. Because from my perspective, your relationship with money is mirrored in other aspects of your life. It's not just money. It
Yeah.
is in many, many other ways. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like you're going to be given and taught tools that are going to be invaluable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, I have one question that's been coming up a lot through email, which is, are we gonna be teaching this again?
Mhm.
And a lot of folks are like, that weekend in June doesn't really work for me. We're not planning on teaching this again this year. And so if you want to learn it this year, I would recommend jumping in. You do get the recordings for 3 months after. And so even if you can't join us live, you'll still be able to access the recordings. And we have a forum, and so you can ask all sorts of questions. And
Mhm.
Nadine and Tiffany and Beth and I are going to make sure that we address folks even after the workshop, because
Mhm.
the thing with a lot of these workshops is you don't even realize the 1 to 2 degree shifts that you make until you go out back into the real world, and you
Mhm.
start, interacting with that information in your real life, and these questions start coming up. So you get the recordings, you get the support. So, hopefully we get to teach it again next year, but these workshops it takes a lot to put them on. So we are not planning on teaching it again this year.
Yeah.
So that's one question I wanted to address right off the bat, because I've
Yeah.
gotten probably 5 or 6 emails about that already.
But the nice thing is that you can go back and watch it, because I'm the
Mm-hmm.
type of person that even if I watch something live, I like to go back and watch recordings and take my own notes. And because you're things, just you digest things go in the back of your brain, back burners, and
Mm-hmm.
you do your own processing, and you come back and you're like, what did they say about this? So you will have the
Yeah.
chance to come back and watch recordings, ask us questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be really fun, action packed. So the thing is, when people think about money, they just glaze over, right? Like, oh shit, 2 days of money talk?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that sounds awful. But I promise you, I mean, do we look like boring people? It's gonna be a lot of fun. I personally bring in a lot of like joy and fun in the subject of money, because I know how daunting and overwhelming it could be. So I promise you lots of laughs and lots of education, lots of learning and integration and healing and love. And that's what we're all about. It's all about love
Yeah.
and community. So,
Yeah. Exactly. And
so excited.
you know, I don't think that anybody really integrates that well when someone is just like talking at them for like an entire weekend. So it is a really interactive space. Questions are totally welcome. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, I think that that's how we get into a co-creative space when we're teaching workshops. Is yes, there is a framework and curriculum that we want to get through, but the questions that you bring is going to equally inform what we talk about and the tools that we share. So
Yeah.
please come with your questions, please come with your curiosity, and so excited to have you there if you choose to join us.
Yeah. Me too. I'm really excited. Okay, anything else you'd like to add? I don't, I think I went through all my questions for you for today for
Yeah.
this little interview. Yeah.
I think the only invitation that I want to add in here is, if you are curious about this work and you're still on the fence, Nadine and I have recorded a podcast on the Empowered Curiosity podcast. So you can go onto Apple Podcasts or Spotify or really anywhere else you get your podcasts. And she and I have recorded an episode. We also released one with Kenza Collective. And so they come on and share a little bit of their wisdom. And then actually a couple of weeks from now, Nadine and I recorded a spontaneous podcast that we just last minute decided that we just had to hop on the mic and share. And in that one, we talk about our own personal money wounds. So if you're curious about, I think that the reason why people resonate with my work so much is because I know where you've been,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not scared to share that story with you and tell you about how I've been able to integrate that. And so I hope that you'll join us for the workshop, listen to the podcast episodes. This month is all about money and the energetics of money. So please go in and give that a listen if that's in alignment for you.
Perfect. So the link to the podcast episode is on the link in my bio, and also to learn more about the Energetics of Money workshop. There is a link in my bio. I'm pretty sure you have the same, Kat.
Exactly. I do.
So all the information is, you can access that easily through the links in our bios, websites, etc. And that's it. If anyone
Sounds
has
good.
any questions, leave them in the comments. We will, reply to you or DM us. You're welcome to do that. And hopefully we will see you there.
Yeah. Wonderful. I get
Okay.
to I get to spend a whole weekend with you, Nadine. I'm excited.
Yeah, and it will be a really interesting time for me. It will be 2 a.m. my time.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about the time difference for
Oh, I think
you.
that's really funny and exciting. I'll just drink coffee, and by the time, I don't know, like 9 a.m. my time rolls, it'll be like the end of the workshop. We'll see where I'll
Yeah.
be. It'll be fun to see that. Yeah, I'll be fine. It'll be awesome. Okay, everyone.
Awesome.
Well, I'm going to leave this on my feed, and if you want to revisit it, again, questions, all that, comments, DMs, and we'll see you there. And thank you so much, Kat. And
Yeah.
your background looks a lot like my background, but mine is fake. Yours is real. Cool. All right. Thanks, and see you
Sounds good.
soon. Ciao.
Alrighty.
Bye.
Bye.